Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Hare Rama Krishna
Yadavaya Namaha
Govinda Gopal Govinda Ram
Srimad Sudhanam
Gopal Govinda
Pangun Langayate Girim
Yati Tataman Vande
Sri Gurum Dina Tharinam
Paramananda Madhavam
Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram
Hare
Hari Om Tatsat.
Hare Krishna dear devotees. Today we will continue with the reading from Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita by Srila Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Today's chapter is entitled, Although as all human beings are eligible for bhakti, those who follow the Varnashrama principle have a distinct advantage and eligibility. Part 2 of this chapter. Human life is structured in a hierarchical manner, even though many Varnashrama followers have eligibility and advantages. Their materialistic tendency is noticeable. As mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.44, terrified about to die, a man collapses on his bed. Although his voice is faltering and he is hardly conscious of what he is saying, if he utters the holy name of the Supreme Lord, he can be freed from the reaction of his fruitive work and achieve supreme destination. But still, people in the age of Kali, will not worship the Supreme Lord. The reason
So, uh, at the time of leaving your body, if you remember the holy name,
So, at the time of leaving your body, if you remember the holy name,
then Krishna will take you back to his abode.
then Krishna will take you back to his abode.
Still, people don't do this.
Still, people don't do this.
They don't remember Krishna.
They don't remember Krishna.
And as a result, they are suffering a lot.
As a result, they are suffering a lot.
So you always chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So therefore, you should always chant Krishna Hare.
Say it in Bengali.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Say it in Russian.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Say it in Chinese.
Hare
We'll leave all the languages for later.
We leave the other languages for later.
Spanish, they want Spanish.
Spanish. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go ahead.
Uh,
The reason is that human life is structured in an hierarchical manner. The life of outcasts is the lowest, first bottom step. The basic of atheistic morality is the second step. The life of theistic morality is the third step. The life of Vaidhi-bhakta is the fourth step. And the life of a Raganuga Bhakta is at the top or the fifth of the steps. The life of a devotee is situated at the top of the steps. Living entities have natural inclination to ascend to higher steps on the ladder they occupy. To ensure that this natural inclination does not lead to hasty and untimely ascension from one step to another, meaning that one should firmly establish oneself on one step before moving to the next. The concept of qualification in the form of adherence to the steps has been explained.
Uh, so, Prabhupada has given us a fast track up the steps.
So Prabhupada has given us a fast track up to the steps.
You don't have to go step by step,
You don't have to go step by step.
but can establish yourself on the Vaidhi-bhakti step,
You can
then
establish you can establish yourself in the Vaidhi-bhakti step
the Raganuga-bhakti.
and then Raganuga Bhakti.
So the idea is to get up to the steps fast.
So the idea is that to get up to the steps fast.
This is by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Panchatattva.
This is by the mercy of by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and the Panchatattva. The idea is to get up of the steps fast. Niyamagraha. When time to ascend to another step arises, at that time one should abandon the previous attachment. The desire to remain bound to it is called superstition or niyamagraha. Practicing the scripture rules and regulation only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. By this superstition, the outcasts disregard atheistic morality and atheistic moralists disregard speculative theistic morality. The speculative theistic moralists neglect the real theistic morality, and the real theistic moralists disrespect bhakti, and finally Vaidhi Bhakta disregard Raganuga Bhakta. Due to this superstition, many Varnashrama practitioners do not appreciate Vaidhi Bhakti.
So we don't want to be installed in superstition rejection of the next step.
So, we don't want to be installed in the superstitious rejection of the next step.
We want to advance Bhakti Yogi.
We want to advance as a bhakti yogi.
Now, uh, uh, this is the steps for those here in India going up step by step.
Here is the steps for those who are here in India, going up step by step.
But what we see in the Bhagavatam and like Prabhupada is that he starts us much up the ladder.
So we see in the Bhagavatam by Srila Prabhupada, he speaks about much up the ladder,
And very quickly we reach uh, Vaidhi-bhakti
and very quickly we reach Vaidhi-bhakti,
and then the Raganuga-bhakti.
then the Raganuga Bhakti.
But all these melody and all that, we have to preach to people in the West on these steps.
So, all this morality and all those things, we have to preach to the people in the West about all these steps.
I know.
Haribol. As mentioned in the 7th canto, 9th chapter, 10th verse, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. If a Brahmana has all 12 of the Brahmanical qualification, but is not a devotee, and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee who is dog eater, but who has dedicated everything, mind, words, activities, wealth, and life, to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahmana, because the devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahmana, in a position of false prestige, cannot purify even himself. This does not harm bhakti, but only reveals their misfortune. Those situated at the higher steps naturally feel compassion for the living beings on the lower steps. However, until the fortune of those on the lower steps awaken, the taste for attaining higher steps by abandoning previous attachment does not arise. That's the next topic, karma and bhakti.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Huh?
go up. I mean, go down. Yeah, does not arise.
Huh?
Does not arise. The last thing is yeah.
So, people who are in the varnashram are somehow are stuck on one of the lower steps.
So people, those who are in Varnashram, somehow they are stuck among the lower steps.
So, this is saying how bhakti yoga is more elevated,
This is saying how Bhakti Yoga is more elevated.
and so somehow taste reaching the higher steps of Vaidhi-bhakti, bhakti,
Somehow, the taste for reaching the higher steps, Vaidhi-bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti,
this should be achieved.
this should be achieved.
And unfortunately, if one doesn't have this desire, then uh,
Unfortunately, if one doesn't have this desire, then
the taste for abandoning, attaining higher steps
the taste for
does not
abandoning
arise.
the taste for abandoning the higher steps of bhakti will not arise.
So how many of the people here want to attain a higher stage?
How many of the people here want to attain the higher stage?
Read the next thing.
Good Maharaj.
What?
Okay,
Take medicine
first. Okay, sure. Take out the tongue. Sorry. Karma and bhakti, the life of theistic morality in the form of varnashrama dharma transforming into the mood of bhakti becomes the life of a devotee. However, as long as the life of theistic morality, which is characterized by varnashrama dharma, does not abandon the original nature and adopt the form of a devotional life, it remains known as karma, fruitive activities. Karma can never be part of bhakti. When karma matures, the nature of the practitioner of bhakti arises. It can be called bhakti and it is no longer known as karma. As soon as faith related to Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, arises, the right to perform karma ceases. The Sandhya Vandana, evening prayers, mm, and other duties within karma are specific moral duties. They are not activities born out of faith. When faith in relation to Bhagavan arises, all devotional activities which are forms of subordination to Bhagavan are gradually honored. At that time, one does not feel inclined to perform Sandhya Vandana or other karma activities, as they would rather attend any opportunity where Hari Katha, discourse about the Supreme Lord Hari, is taking place. The practitioner then considers that what is the need of continue with Sandhya Vandana and similar duties once the purpose of Harikatha has arrived, what is the need to abandon this Harikatha for other activities.
So a devotee, he wants to hear uh, Harikatha,
So a devotee, he wants to hear Harikatha,
and in this way, his attachment to Krishna also increases.
so in this way his attachment to Krishna also increases.
So in the Vaidhi-bhakti, there are 8 steps.
In the Vaidhi-bhakti there are 8 steps.
First one is hearing,
The first one is hearing,
and then next step is associating with devotees,
and then the next step is associating with devotees,
and then performing the bhajan kriya
and then performing bhajana kriya,
and taking initiation.
and then taking initiation.
So then, uh, another nidhi,
And then anartha nivritti,
getting rid of the bad habits,
giving up the bad habits,
nistha,
and then nishta,
being fixed in devotional service,
being fixed in devotional service,
and then ruchi,
and then ruchi,
getting a taste for devotional service,
getting a taste for devotional service,
and then ashakti,
and then asakti,
being very attached
means very
to
attached
devotional service,
to devotional service, very attached to devotional service,
and bhava,
and then bhava,
ecstatic love for Krishna.
ecstatic love for Krishna.
That those ones can rise up in bhakti.
What's that, Gurmaj? What's that?
And that way one can rise up
In that way, one can rise up in bhakti.
as a bhava, this Prema, but that's another series.
After bhava, there is prema, but that's another series.
So you want to see all the devotees rise up in their devotional service.
So we want to see all the devotees to rise up in their devotional service.
Haribo.
Haribo. Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki, Saki Vrinda ki, Giriraj Maharaj ki. Guru Maharaj is blessing all the devotees.
Krishna Matir Astu.
Krishner Matirastu, Panchatattva ki, Prahlad Nrsinga Dev ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Tomorrow morning, Guru Maharaj should be giving a Bhagavatam class in the temple.
Tomorrow morning, how did you think all of them was? So,
Okay. Tomorrow morning, Guru Maharaj will be giving a Bhagavatam class in the temple. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj ki jai. Dear fortunate devotees, so welcome to Guru Maharaj Virtual Book Table. Srila Prabhupada wrote to Raya Rama on February 15, 1969. Each center should take the responsibility of contributing some money towards the publication of Back to Godhead instead of depending upon each center for selling. For example, if a center contributes $100, we send them copies at cost price to the amount. And it doesn't matter whether they sell it or not, but we must have the monthly contribution. The copies which are not sold may be distributed free to schools, libraries, and influential gentlemen. This will greatly further our propaganda, and I'm thinking in these terms. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Marathon slogan is live to give. So, today we have our Nitya Sevites, Balachandra Channa, Vinita Gandharvika, Devidasi, Balavrinda, 4 small books. Actually, there are so many devotees who have contributed, but the names have not yet arrived, so I'm not able to read it here. So as soon as the names arrives, I'll be chanting their names in this Sri Mayapur. From Kasadesh devotees, we have Damini Devidasi and her family, 1 Bhagavad Gita and 10 small book. 1:10 ratio is exactly what Guru Maharaj wants, and this is what spells Srila Prabhupada's instruction to Guru Maharaj in this regard. Thank you for being an exemplary example, Damini Mataji. Gayatri Devidasi, 1 Gita, and Wang Lan Yu, 1 Gita. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. So all these devotees also getting a special Narasimha Puja in a few hours from now in Siddham Mayapur. And all of you also can please bless them by calling out Nitai Gauranga with me. Nitai Gauranga. While thanking those who are helping Guru Maharaj in book distribution, Guru Maharaj says in his own words, of course, Srila Prabhupada told all of us to be Krishna conscious, to help others to be Krishna conscious and chant Hare Krishna. But he told me that I should also see that every month 10,000 Maha big books are distributed and 100,000 small books. So I have this big debt that I have to pay every month. So I need a lot of help. I don't know how much that is now with interest because that was told in the 1970s. So with interest, maybe that's much more now. So Mayapur Sankirtan Party helps by distributing books. But anyone here wants to help me pay my debts? So please do contact Guru Maharaj Virtual Book Table at +91 94 34 76 04 02. And also, please pause on this wonderful opportunity of participating in the pastime of Guru Maharaj, distributing Srila Prabhupada books, even the single Bhagavad Gita and 10 small books. And stay tuned for tomorrow's Srimad Bhagavatam class and further in the evening for Lord Chaitanya's class. Now, let's do an intense prayers for the speedy recovery and full recovery of Guru Maharaj. Please join me in the prayers. And of course, our prayers include for all those who are celebrating their anniversaries today for their well-being and blissful Krishna consciousness. Let's pray. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Vaishnav Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha.